United States prison doors have been said to be revolving. The National Institute of Justice says that 67.8% of offenders that have been released reoffend within the first 3 years. As time goes by, that number increases. It cost Americans $31,000 on average to house an inmate per year. Some states use $60,000 per year per inmate. Those numbers are staggering. I feel that we can reduce this and reduce recidivism if we give offenders a chance once they're released, instead of just throwing them to the wolves. Whenever you look around any city in the United States, you can see abandoned houses, failed businesses, abandoned buildings and failed businesses all around. We could recycle these and reopen them to be transitional houses so that people have a place to go whenever they're released from prison, and they have means and resources in order to succeed in life. There are many obstacles that prisoners face once they are released. The main one would be that they don't have a support group to come home to. Whenever they originally get locked up, there are probably people in their corner that will help them, and these people send them money so that they can get commissary or get phone cards and phone time, or help them with their legal fees, and are activists for these people. But after time, if someone's in prison for 20 years, then people tend to grow tired of that, and it becomes a daunting task, and they just tend to fade away. So whenever someone comes out, if they don't have a support system, they don't have somebody to come to help them get on their feet and be independent, then they're left to go to a Salvation Army, which Salvation Armies are great, but they too will start to charge you, and then they won't let you stay if you can't afford to stay there, and then you're on the streets. And whenever a person's on the streets, they are at their lowest point, and then they tend to go back to what they were doing in order to get in prison in the first place, whether it be drugs or stealing cars. So having a support system is a big thing, and with being the fact that people don't have that support system, the next best thing is going to be teaching them how to live and giving them the tools that they need in order to be successful in society. Another obstacle would be that they don't have savings or money. They don't have a car, they don't have a house, they don't have a job. A lot of times they don't even know how to get a job because they've been locked up for so long that they don't know how to communicate in an interview, and they don't know the right things to say, they don't know what to wear, they don't know anything, the first thing about getting a job, because they never had one. So in the transitional housing, what we could do is to have these life skills classes that would teach people things like this, teach people about cooking meals, teach them about budgeting and finances, because you're going to need to know that in order to live on your own. So with the extensive program of the transitional house, they would get a monthly budget, which they have to set. They have to have a job in order to be there. They would have to pay a monthly fee in order to stay. They would have to deposit money into a savings account that is ran by the facility or overseen by the facility, so that they're not just going and putting and taking money out of a savings, that they're actually saving up money so that whenever it's their time to be released from the transitional house, they have something to get started with. So that's one thing that they would need to do. They would be responsible for their own clothes, their own food, and their own toiletries. And another issue is that society is very unforgiving. Society will deem a person as being a loser or an outcast, or once a felon, always a felon, just like people say once a cheater, always a cheater. Those types of mentalities are what also feeds into the recidivism and makes people go back, because they're not given a chance to show that they can be better. So if we have these things set in place, then we can better their chances at not going back into the prison system and going back into that revolving door, which is our justice system. one main thing that people ask is who's gonna pay for this, and like I said, if you were to take half of what the $30,000 per inmate per year, that would help because they're also contributing to what they're doing. So it's not like it's just gonna be on the taxpayers to let these people have semi-freedoms when they're criminals and things like that. And a lot of times, like, if you give people incentive and you give people goals that they're reaching, then they're gonna continue to do and wanna do better and wanna be successful. So I feel that it could reduce the recidivism rate by at least 40% and help our communities. Excuse me. So one activist named Ronald Moten said in a WUSA9.com interview that hurt people and heal people, and not giving a person a chance to enter society in a way that's conducive to constructive re-engagement into society is hurting people. My sources include nationalinstituteofjustice.org, WUSA9.com, Clinical Social Work Journal. Thank you.